That was a good game. Agreed.
Yeah, we can, as you have umpired, you can maybe walk us through. And maybe the top two में से कोई मोटर सिटी मार्वल और स्ट्रेंजर्स और एसएसएलसी गार्जियन में से कोई एक.
Okay, I think we are live now.
Yeah, I think we are live. Yeah.
Yeah, I see the notifications. All right. I know it's been a while. Welcome, Avi.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining our show. This week we have some games. T90 is going on, so that's why the delay in the show. But now we've got everyone, so we should be getting started. We'll do the same order in which we generally do the show. We'll go with Division 2 first, then into Division 1, and then we'll talk about predictions. From Division 2, we'll pick up three games which are close, and then we'll move into Division 1. So let's start from bottoms up. We'll go with Vikings versus Spartans. Now, this game is the clash of the bottom of the table clash. Spartans, as we have talked about in the previous week, they're no longer a force which I think 3 or 4 seasons ago, I think they were quite a handful. But now I think it's to the point where they're probably fighting for their survival. Vikings, a brand new team. Or maybe I'm wrong. Vikings is Cheetahs. Is that
Yes, that's
uh,
right, Parthiv.
always get confused, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Cheetahs has been in DCL quite a while, but this is their first win. But from what I see in this, Gabaji, you can tell us. It's the difference. I feel the difference in the extras that made a difference. The Vikings were gifted 21 extras, whereas Spartans got 11. The 10 runs, made all the difference. Go ahead,
And it's
Gabaji.
literally the scores off the bat for both teams, I think, are identical. It's really the battle of the extras that was won by Vikings.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, you can see in both scorecards, I think you had a couple of double digit scores from the top and middle order, but the rest of them kind of failed. The bowling was pretty distributed as well. But truly, I think the extras made a huge difference in this particular game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right, Parthiv. If you see, right, both the side they have two player who has crossed a double digit,
Yep.
and both the side, and Spartan gave 21 extra, they gave 11 extra, and the margin difference between the both the score total score was 12 runs. So maybe a disciplined bowling from the Viking has got them a game, I would say. Let's start with the toss. The Viking has won the toss and elected to bat first, and they put a good total, I would say, decent total 83 run, thanks to the extra that they have got. The good batsman from the Viking side was Susant Rai, who scored 15 run, and the Aman, who scored 17 run, and extra was the highest, 21. Pick of the bowler from Spartan was Sandeep Gola, who got 4 wickets, and Avinash, who has been introduced late, has got 3 wickets. In response, Spartan had, I would say, Siam has given us a good start, but nobody has stood up along with the Siam, and from the other end, wickets were keep following. And then later on, Raghu came and tried to score some quick runs in 14 run in 16 balls, but I think again he did not get enough support, and then couple of duck towards the end has got a Viking again. So Vaibhav Sehgal has, I think Vaibhav Sehgal has taken a 4 wicket, and Dinesh also took 4 wicket from Viking side. So
Mm.
hard luck, I would say Spartan, they are yet to have a win in this season at least. Viking has got their first win, so congratulations to them. And with just one win, they have moved from 11th position to the 7th position. So see how one win can make your position.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, I think they are still reeling from the Chanakya Lokam exit. Ever since he's gone, I mean, when he was there, I think they were winning at least a game or two or three during the season. But ever since he's gone, and they've lost another opener of theirs, who was great. I can't put a name to it, but they've lost a couple of good players in the last season, and that's showing up now, showing
Right.
the impact of those players.
You guys are talking about Spartans?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Even I predicted Spartans to win, considering they have more experience
Yeah,
altogether. Ishwar and all, they have been in the DCL for maybe from the time I'm seeing, at least I'm seeing
Yeah,
Ishwar.
Ishwar is the one name I recognize on that
yeah.
squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So based on that experience, probably I have given it to Spartan, but I think Spartan disappointed me specifically because I was the only one I think who has predicted Spartan, I believe.
Ah,
Yep. All right. Let's go on to the next game. I'm going to quickly cover that. That was a one-sided game between Gujarat Warriors and FCC Agni. FCC Agni, another team that has been in DCL in the fold for quite a long time, but Ramesh this season hasn't yet smelled success. This is their third or the fourth win, third or the fourth loss in a row. And Gujarat Warriors on the other side are rising stars, or the teams of all Patels. They have been strong and one of the big contenders to go into Division One if they hold these performances. And there were quite few consistent batting performances. If you look at the scorecard from Gujarat Warriors, uh, towards the especially towards the end of the innings, there was Adil and then Bhavin, Kevin. The last wicket partnership, if you look at it, that was unbelievable. They were 9 for 67, and then they propelled the score to 92, and I think that basically made that score probably too much for the FCC Agni to chase, and they were folded for 50. Apart from Satish, no real contribution. Satish and Alishan. Oh, we see Alishan back in FCC Agni fold. That is quite a bit of a surprise. Alishan used to have his own team. Doesn't wasn't Sterling Strikers part of Alishan Ibadat? If I'm not wrong, wasn't he the commander in chief for that team at one point of time?
I don't know if he was commander in chief, but yeah, the
I
name
I
certainly
think
sounds
that
familiar,
is
like he
the
was associated with Sterling Strikers.
I
That's
think,
true.
yeah, it was the Ibadat brothers, I remember, who started the team, and then eventually, you
Right.
had the likes of Mansab and all those guys come in,
Right.
Jawad and all those guys made the team stronger. But I remember it was FCC, it was the FHCC first, then became Sterling Strikers, and that Alishan
FHC.
was,
Yes. That's the
yeah,
name I recollect. Correct. Yeah.
correct. So, Ramesh has got him into the fold, but still a very ordinary performance by FCC Agni, losing by 40 odd runs, and Gujarat Warriors keep moving ahead. And as I said, they are probably front runners to, uh, be in the top four for Division Two. Next game is the Royal Challengers Detroit versus MI Rangers. Another,
Parthiba, we just
yes,
wanted to cover some close games, right?
correct,
Rather
correct.
than covering
I'm
all
just
the
going to
games.
read out the scores really quickly.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
So Royal Challengers Detroit, my Rangers, Royal Challengers winning it comfortably, 92, and MI Rangers couldn't chase 66. They were all out. MI Rangers went into this game favorites, so quite I would say an upset of sorts for Royal Challengers. The next game I think we're going to cover is the close game between Racha Riders and Dark Horses. I'll let Gabaji you take over and
Avi was the
walk us
umpire
through.
for this game, so Avi can
Oh,
cover
Avi
that.
was the umpire. Okay. How good about that's great. Avi, talk to us. Tell us
It
about
was
Racha Riders. We've been talking a lot about them.
right. So, and I had observed that game where one of their players took a hat trick. That game was happening next to the game that I was playing the week before. And
Mm.
from what I saw, there was a lot of noise, a lot of enthusiasm and energy from the Racha Riders on the field. So I was personally excited about, okay, how would it be when I umpire that game? And then Dark Horses, of course, they won the toss and they chose to field on what was, I would say, quite a good day and a pretty decent pitch at NPP4. And then Racha Riders started off okay. There was a little bit of a partnership that they had going at the top before their captain ran himself out. And then, but they cobbled together some. They kept losing wickets at somewhat regular intervals. Dark Horses kept chipping in, and they were showing some admirable energy while bowling. But they managed to stitch 2 or 3 partnerships together, Racha Riders, and they ended up going to a pretty decent score of 101. And in the chase, Dark Horses looked to be gone for all money, to be honest. Their first 10 overs, if I recollect correctly, brought in very few runs for the loss of about 3 or 4 wickets. And it didn't even look like they were going to chase this down successfully. They were just plodding along. And but it was interesting as a neutral observer because Racha Riders obviously were well on top, but without them realizing, once Pankaj and Nabi got together in the middle, they just kept chipping along. It wasn't immediately apparent, but a few overs in, you realized that wait a minute, Dark Horses are making a real fist of this because it was all single double, not real too many big shots, but they were starting to get about the 5 runs and over. They were getting that rhythm, and before you knew it, it became a lot closer than I think even the Racha Riders thought. But ultimately, once Nabi got out, first I think it was Pankaj that got out. Nabi kept carrying on with Durga, but eventually, once Racha Riders broke through that 6th or 7th wicket, after that, the last 2, 3 wickets just couldn't handle. But for a moment there, Dark Horses would have thought, man, our luck has changed. And especially Pankaj, whose name's been mentioned on the show so many times. In fact, I told him that this was the first time I think we've met each other before, but when I met him my first, oh, you're the chap that Biju keeps talking about on the show. So it's so yeah. For a moment, they would have hoped so agonizingly close, but wasn't meant to happen that day for Dark Horses. But it was an exciting game, and glad to have witnessed it from one of the best seats in the house.
Yeah, we would love to have somebody from Racha Riders join the show because we've been talking about them. They are a brand new team in DCL,
Yep.
and they've been doing really well. Apart from maybe one game which they lost, this is their probably the third win.
Mhm.
So they've been doing really well, and I feel they have a very good chance of getting into Division One if they continue this performance throughout the season. Maybe they'll be eyeing for that Division One pretty soon.
Yep. Currently,
Yep.
they are looking very sound and solid. Let's see how they. I am pretty sure they will go to the playoff, but let's see how they play in playoff games. But they look very promising. We
Yeah,
can.
they
I can
are.
look for Racha Riders to come on the show next time.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next game. Next game we are going to cover is another close game between Punjab Scorpions and SLCC Guardians. This was a game of the 60s. Punjab Scorpions batted first. I think that's where I think they had a couple of decent partnerships, but after that, there wasn't much resistance. And what I found it really interesting is SLCC Guardians bowling. They had pretty much everyone roll their arm over. 8 bowlers used. I'm not sure what Satish is thinking, but they had a ball of a time. Everybody basically pitched in an over or two. Probably they had some injury with, or maybe I don't know what Sandeep Kohli's over was, but he had only, or maybe it was Hari Krishna. I don't know. Either one of the two didn't finish their over, and but
Probably
him.
Hari. Like,
Sorry.
probably Hari. I think it was Hari that didn't finish.
Yeah, so I think that prompted them to use Sandeep, but essentially, I don't think Sandeep was a regular bowler, so they probably just wanted to use those 4 balls and not concede an extra over of their regular bowlers. But on the other hand, I think it was a great show from one of the guys, Gurkrit Singh Kangura. I'm sorry if I've butchered the name, but an excellent bowling there. 4 overs, 2 maidens, 8 for 5. That was an outstanding performance, but still couldn't get Punjab through. SLCC Guardians winning by 2 wickets. Anything of highlight you guys probably want to highlight as well here?
I'm just
So,
happy to see that Satish bowled a full quota of 5 overs. I'm not even sure I've seen him bowl before.
but I
No,
think
he's
in the
been bowling last
Has,
year too. We were surprised, but after that, he's been bowling consistently.
was that right? Oh, okay. Nice.
in the Guardian he has to bowl. If he's playing for the Guardian, he has to bowl on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
The
that may
legend
be the
in the
reason.
legend, he has to have legend bowlers, right? Guru Naga, Harish, Praveen. So maybe that time he might not have felt it, but when he's playing in the Guardian, he has to bowl because
No,
he is
because
much.
one of my points that I always used to make to Satish was I love watching the guy bat. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so, and I always asked him, why don't you bat in the sides that you captain? And obviously, then once on the other tournaments, once he started putting together those all-star teams, obviously he wouldn't give himself a chance. But then at least in DCL, I was wondering. But now that he's even gone to bowling, yeah, I guess I'm happy for him.
And just, as we are talking about Satish, just wanted to let our viewers know that Satish has started playing with different half team as a legends, and he's representing the state and doing fabulous in a
Yes,
different part of the US. He's going to play Texas and everywhere, and he's doing amazing. He was just following, giving me some scorecards, and I saw them. He's scoring left and right. So kudos
Mm,
to Satish, and we are happy and proud for what he
yeah,
is doing and
making us proud at
representing
the US Masters game,
somebody from the DCL is doing so amazing.
right?
So good luck to Satish on that. Another thing I wanted to highlight, if you see Punjab Scorpion, right? Punjab Scorpion squad, if you see, right, they have a lot of experienced people.
mm.
Ideally, this team should, if this not a new team, they should be a right fit for the Division One. But they shouldn't be losing the game like this if they want to play the Division One next year.
Right.
Scorpion still looks very strong in terms of Division Two, but if they keep on losing the game like this, they might lose that chance.
Right.
Yep, we can go on the next game.
Yeah, next game was another one which was one-sided. KCC 92 and Rebels 56. So a huge win for KCC. One thing to highlight here is the return of their captain. Tejas Shantigoda is back and he's already amongst the runs. 19 this innings, which propelled them to a respectable score of 92. Probably too many runouts in the KCC innings. Otherwise, they could have probably scored even more. But Rebels, fairly new team. They were gifted 18 extras, and that's why they had a score of 56. Otherwise, it would have been 30s or 40s. But a strong team, KCC, another team that we've been talking on the show, that should probably make into Division One next year if they continue this performance. Quickly moving into the next one, Punjab Lions versus Stallions, another game which was one-sided. 97 Punjab Lions and Stallions 68. A win for Punjab Lions by 29 runs. Would like to highlight the 39 runs from Karanjit Singh. He was the star performer for Division 2 batting wise. 39 runs were so valuable for Punjab Lions. They got them to a very respectable 97. And then towards the batting unit, Stallions, another team that has been, and we talked about Sterling strikers now, which is Stallions, have just lost the cream of their crop, and now they're looking pretty dismal at this stage. So I would expect another good fight from Punjab Lions going into the season, an outside chance for them too to make into Division One. Next game, local boys versus Phantoms. A great win for local boys. Those finally local boys has come through. We've been betting on local boys for quite a while. All the analysts, and they've not been really been fair to us. They've been losing games, but this game, it's great to see local boys perform even without their star player Srinivas Alumilai. Great contribution from Senthil and Vivek at the towards the end. Naren and Prashant as well contributed,
Extremely
which
clear.
got them 95. But then on the other side, Phantoms, I think they just lost wickets at the top of the order and then never really recovered. Even though Rajesh and Nitin did stitch a partnership to recover, but it was probably too late. And Phantoms losing by 26 runs here.
Hey Parth, I don't know why you said without Srinivasan Yedumalai.
No, no,
Srinivasan.
without his contribution. He did
Ah,
play, but generally when he contributes or when he scores, Local boys I've generally seen they win quite easily, but in this case he wasn't. He just made those 5 runs,
Right,
and
but I think he bowled brilliantly though. Three for just eight of his full quota of five. So that was so still left
oh, okay,
some
yeah,
to
that
stand on
yeah.
the day.
I always look at him as a batsman, a destructive batsman. So I never really go check his bowling stats. But yes, one way or the other, he's always there in their contributing into their win.
Right.
All right. Next one is was another nail biter. I think this is the one which we want to cover. Motor City versus Marvels. Another clash of the bottom teams. Very equal ranked teams. Motor City and Marvels. Motor City has been in DCL for quite a bit. Marvels have been fairly new, and we know a lot of Motor City guys: Bhargav Srinivasan,
Yeah.
Karthik, those guys. What was surprising to me, and tell me the reason why this could have happened, is they scored 55 runs in 12 overs. I don't know what the hurry was. Dinesh Ravi was going really well, but if they had just played out another maybe 7 to 8 overs, they could have easily scored like 80 odd runs, and that would have made a difference. So not sure what the real push was to kind of keep hitting the ball and getting, because they were putting up a score which was decent. So uh, yeah, well, what do you guys feel? Why was that urgency for Motor City?
I
Uh,
don't think everybody was
they were in
rushing.
a
I think
hurry.
only Dinesh. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm saying I don't know. At least, of course, I wasn't there for the game, but at least the scorecard doesn't make it seem like they were in a hurry. I mean, it's yes, Dinesh looks like he scored somewhat aggressively, but unless there is an error in the scorecard entry, I mean, it's not. It didn't seem like they uh, were
No,
scoring
if you look at
very
if you look
actively.
at
I
the
think
number
it's
of
more
balls
the
that
fact
they
that one
faced.
guy scored pretty quickly, and the others probably just didn't even stand up much, to be
Right.
honest.
That's what I was basically saying.
Right,
Like, look at the number of balls that people have faced. It's
I,
hardly any balls
that's
that they have actually faced.
right,
So it feels like either the bowling was so destructive that they weren't able to stand,
right.
or they just weren't patient enough to put their heads down.
Probably, yeah. Plus, quite a bit of bolds and LBWs as well. So maybe you're right. It could be that the bowling genuinely was pretty good,
Yep.
and probably, I mean, whatever they got it pretty quickly. But I don't think any. Yeah, you're right. I don't think anybody really hung around for too long.
Yeah, and the standout performer, and we've highlighted him in our digital media our posts, is Mukesh Nagupali. 6 wickets for 15 runs in
Wow.
3 overs. That doesn't happen a lot of times. I know Viju had asked me how many times has anyone got 6 wickets, and it doesn't happen. So I hope that this person, whoever it is, has the ball signed or something to keep as a memory. I don't see them streaming, so I don't think he has the video. But it is a memorable performance. So 6 for 15, that doesn't come too often.
Yeah, I agree with that. But only thing, if you see, right, I was just checking, 6 wicket is actually a big milestone. But for them, that 6 wicket might not have won the game for Marvels. The guy named Raja has got them the game. Out of when they were already down 8 wickets and almost 14-15 runs required, that guy hit 2 sixes toward the end.
Exactly.
So basically, that additional 12, 13 run scoring in 2 wickets in hand is always tricky in DCL, right? And
Mm.
somebody is showing that dare and going out and hitting 2 sixes is actually very commendable. And I don't know, very tricky. 6 wicket is always a man of the match, but I would actually appreciate that Raja's 2 sixes to get them a game. And it was not a close contest before it has been played, Parthiv.
Mm.
Uh, uh, Motor City was heavy favorite based on our
Yeah,
prediction.
exactly. I think
All
all of us voted for Motor
all of
City.
our analysts has predicted Motor City, and overall community also almost 80%, more than 80% people have predicted Motor City to win actually. So Marvel actually played really good to and showed us that okay, they can also win.
Yep. That's the first, I think, win for Marvels this season, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is. Wow. Okay.
Yep. So congratulations to Marvels for their first win in DCL, and welcome to DCL in general. All right, let's. This was Division Two. Let's move into Division One. We go with GLCC versus Troy Hawks. Now, I know our fellow analyst or captain of GLCC would be very, very happy to see this performance, but kind of also a little disappointed. I would say he lost the bonus point uh, by a whisker. So that 1 point might, in the end, make a lot of difference. But Gabaji, I'll start with you. Talk to us about GLCCs. Like, we've been kind of murdering them last weekend. I remember we were roasting KK on the WhatsApp as well as on the show that he's brought a very different GLCC, and GLCC has lost their soul. A lot of new faces, a lot of things that are moving pieces. But finally, they've got their act together.
Yeah, it is. I think scoring that 143, 142 runs and putting a 143 target, right? It is always very high. But kudos to Troy Hawks. Scoring 124 is itself, chasing 142 is not easy in DCL, right? And
Right.
somehow I feel like GLCC, I thought that they have a average bowling at least in this year, but somehow the stats also shows like Samish Bhai, I know he's coming out of injury, and but 31 run in 4 overs is still I see very high for with
Yep.
Samish Bhai standard.
Right.
And even if you see right, Hemant go for 20 and Prabhu go for 29 in his quota and Hitesh going for 20 run. Somehow it is very high. I'm not sure how the Troy Hawks was batting at that point, but yeah, somehow like Suresh Yadresi, I don't know. I have never seen him much, but yeah, he scored 42. That is in the 53 ball without even scoring a boundary or six, no four and no six at all. Murli also scoring 24 runs. So some good inning from the Troy Hawks as well. As soon as I see GLCC having 142, I thought have no game left there, but they made out of the game.
But
From
the
GLCC side, I see Hitesh is on a very good form. He's also coming out of injury, but he's performing really good. Even yesterday in our game, Hitesh was the key player where he batted really good till the depth and then bowled as well, really good as well. So good to see Hitesh back in the form even after coming out of the injury. So other than that, our KK also scoring those quick 26 and hitting three big sixes probably in the just 13 balls and again got run out. We
yes,
did talk about that, right? Why KK is going down, and he told that no, from the next game I'll go little up. It was actually little up only from the 8-9 down to 7
well,
down.
he's climbing up. He's got to. I mean, to be fair to him, like from number 9 or number 10 that he went, he's definitely now number 8. Or
Yeah,
so he's definitely moving up. But still, the question begs: why is Murli K opening? That's something which I don't think KK has ever been able to clarify or provide any justice to his brother being sent opener and himself being sent at number 9, number 10, which I feel should be the opposite way, to be honest, because KK can make a lot of impact, especially in the power play.
I have not seen much of Murli, so I can't comment. But this particular inning, I don't see he has any issue. 12 and 20 ball. I think it's a decent start for him.
Yeah, and as you pointed out, I am also very very surprised with the GLCC bowling unit. Generally, they are very very disciplined and very very miser with giving away the runs. And I don't think I've ever seen a bowling figure like this for Samish. 4 overs 31 at almost 8 runs per over. That probably never happens. So it must be, coming back from the injury. I know talking to him, he's still nursing a sore shoulder. So that might be the reason that he might be giving away those extra runs. They're probably not in the right frame of mind as well from a bowling point of view. But yeah, to be honest, I was surprised as well. But good to see GLCC back in the winning ways. And I think even though they lost a bonus point, I think they'll welcome back to their winning ways, and getting back on the table, moving up the table for. And on the other hand, Troy Hawks, I think, is a team that most people are now fancying to face, because I think they aren't the same unit that once threatened and almost reached quarterfinals one year.
Agreed.
But
Yeah, it
I
was not
still see after this
the original
particular,
Troy Hawks. Yeah, from a few years ago, maybe a lot of the players just moved out. I'm not
Yeah, a lot of players have been poached by our KK and and Raptors. Raptors first took it. KK took it from Raptors. So yeah, I mean the likes of Pradeep Konreddy and then Kaushik. Those guys I remember.
KK should not be blamed for the stealing the player from Troy Hawks. Okay,
Yeah, it was Raptors first, then it became KK. But eventually,
KK has robbed the robber.
right, correct.
Yeah,
That if you, but technically that is not robbery because if you rob from the robber, you're not really robbing.
that's the Robin Hood logic.
Yes, Robin Hood logic. Well, all right, let's move on to the next game. The next game really, I feel, is a little disheartening to see Canton Hurricanes so meekly start the season. This was a game I was expecting that Canton Hurricanes would come back to some sort of form, but on the other hand, fighters are really playing like fighters. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but fighters definitely with now gladiators not being in the prime form, I would feel fighters definitely are in that situation where they can really top the the table. I mean, thunders have lost, fighters I mean gladiators have lost, fighters is the only unit probably, and obviously with all due respect Gabaji too, those two teams are really now at the top of the table, Titans and fighters.
Yeah, I think the formation of those two Punjab teams, I think that's what has kind of dented the Canton Hurricanes quite a bit, right? They lost quite a few of those players. I actually ran into Adarsh over the weekend,
Hmm.
and I think it was a bit of a, I guess, an indication of resignation on his part, saying, "Yeah, we kind of knew going into the season that we have our resources have been hit somewhat." That being said, they still have a decent unit. For some reason, I think they're just not able to get going thus far in the season.
Hmm.
But I'm hoping they turn it around. To be honest, there shouldn't be this much of a gulf with a few. I mean, it's understandable that when a few players leave your team, you will face the heat a bit. But then I hope for others and some of the other fellows on the team, Hari, Amit, those guys' sake, that I really hope that they manage to turn it around from there.
And really, who is this Arjun Reddy?
He,
Uh,
he is playing with fighters from some time, I believe. And
yeah, I
I've
was
seen
checking
him,
up his stats. He looks like
I've seen him playing in the indoor as well and last year as well. So he is a really good batsman. And I think he's just playing on his potential now, where he's able to win the game single-handedly to for the fighters.
yeah, I was checking his stats. He looks like he's been playing DCL for a while. But
Hmm.
to be honest, I think he's had a pretty ordinary DCL 2021 and then suddenly this season, a bang. I mean, 50, and those are hard runs to get in DCL. 50 is a pretty awesome feat to have. And because of that score, the score of the fighters were able to achieve 122 was just too much for Canton Hurricanes to even think about chasing, I guess. And that pressure, along with the pressure of them losing so many games and trying to get to win, trying to at least get a win, that resulted in even a worse batting performance. I know their batting effort hasn't been good, but this is like really ordinary. And good to see one other figure, our fellow DCL committee member Venkat Vadnala amongst the wickets. That guy is another guy who's evergreen. Every time I see him, he's playing, and I always think like maybe he's going to retire now, but he's always there. And good to see him bowling and getting those 2 wickets as well. So, all in all, I think it was a great win for fighters.
I
Right.
think
And
if
we were
Samesh and
talking about,
Pradeep will keep playing long after we've been consigned to our beds with
There are
IVs,
some players
they'll be fine running into us and watching on the laptop. So
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Those guys will just keep playing forever.
So when we're talking about the teams, right? Let's talk about both the teams. Fighter has definitely has better team than the previous year with the addition of Sai Manoj and Ravi Teja in
Ravi Tejpal.
bowling and batting department respectively, along with their already a core people, right? So Fighter is looking very promising as Parthi was already mentioning. On the other hand, Canton Hurricanes also has a talent. Only problem is that they are performing bit and pieces. They have to perform collectively to win the game in the division one at least, right? One person or two-person cannot win the game, and moreover, I think they have to think in the table and make out a strategy how they can get the best out of each and every one of their player. Somehow I see one time somebody is opening and out of the blue second game is some other person is going 8 down, 7 down. Even the bowling side, they could use better on the out of Javed Bhai. He is a very good bowler, was always on the wicket. So somewhere I think others has a big task to do. He has a team. It's not that the team is weak. It's just that he has to come up with a plan for his own team, like how he can use the best of each and every one of his team, and without worry about who is the opponent, and just go and perform and execute the plan.
Agree. And I think one point I'd like to make before moving on to the next game, when you look at the innings that Arjun played, or the innings from Rushian in the previous game that we talked about, I think Troy Hawks it was versus GLCC. You can tell that even though the game has become more power packed and the focus is always on the people that hit the big shots, you
Mhm.
see the value that strike rotation brings to these innings. 55 of 67 and whatever Russian scored, that means their dot ball percentage is pretty low, which tells
Right.
you that even if you aren't a guy that plays big shots, if you can keep the scoreboard ticking silently, then it can add up pretty quickly. And in both these cases, I mean, these guys' score is almost half of their team's scores. So that goes to show. And then if you have a couple of power hitters who can really up the ante, that can put a formidable total. So it shows the value of players like these, and I think uh, rightfully so, we need to shine the spotlight on these efforts.
Yeah, 100% agree, Abhibhai. Because hitting sixes in the DCL with the ball that we are using is very tough. You need to have a big muscles to clear the boundary. But at the same time, because now we have a rule for everything goes out is a 2 run. I see a lot of batsmen who are scoring those twos. So
That
I,
too,
I have not seen this particular inning, but I won't be surprised where he has 10, 15 twos outside the fence.
quite possible. Yes, that
Yeah.
is true.
So now I see a lot of batsmen are actually inclined towards hitting those two rather than hitting towards the boundary because clearing the boundary is tough than hitting
Correct.
twos.
That's true. Yeah, there is definitely more value for those inside out shots or those scoops behind the
Right.
stumps, right? So it's
Right.
that's a good point. The all round 2 runs declared, I think, has definitely played a part here.
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
all in all, I think fighters are definitely, I would say, front runners now, along with Detroit Titans, to really go top of the table. But still very early in the season. They need to keep this performance, and with Thunders and Thunder Stars and Gladiators, all three kind of losing this week, they definitely have put up their.
So I think you are confusing, Parthi. Thunder and Stars are on a different pool, so they will be top of their own table.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the
Where
overall standings.
yeah,
Top
no,
one.
overall we are not gonna merge it this year, right? So there are two different
Oh yes,
standings.
yes.
So
You're going to
table
go with two
table
pools.
A will have pool A will have their own standing, pool B will have their own standing. And moreover, if not a lot of audience knows, the top two teams on the each pool will directly play quarterfinals. And the
Hmm.
remaining four teams from rank 3 to rank 6 from each pool will play a pre-quarterfinals. And there won't be a merging of ranking this year like we used to do a previous years because we have two pools. So we will just play cross to each other. Like rank 3 from pool A will be playing rank 6, sorry, rank 6 on the pool B. And likewise in the
Anyways,
pre-quarterfinals.
yeah, but so I maybe I'll correct it. Fighters and Detroit Titans are playing for that top spot in the same group.
Hmm.
They are 1-2, I think, in Group A. All
Was-
right, talking about Detroit Titans, let's move
I was
into
about to
that
say.
game. Sorry.
I was about to say. Speaking of Detroit Titans, that's the next one I
Yeah,
saw.
that's the next game, which was another one which Gladiators, both Viju and Satya have a hard pill to swallow. Another weekend where it would be hard for somebody to come and validate what just happened. But this was an even bigger loss to what they lost against us. Against us, they I mean, we chased, so it was a different. Shape of the game was pretty different, but in this
Couldn't
case,
resist bringing that up, could you?
sorry.
You couldn't resist rubbing it
Yeah,
in.
obviously never. These opportunities don't come so so often. So I'm pretty sure Gabaji has got a list of things that he wants to get off his chest. But but this loss is, even as I said, the one against Strikers was a hiccup. This is like almost like the wheels are falling off. Is that
Yeah.
kind of a loss for 33, getting bowled out for 33? Thunders did a similar thing. They got up for 22. We'll talk about that also. But this was a Ronnie Patel show. Obviously, Gabaji had a good contribution from Tarun and yourself, and Dwanit at the bottom. I think that 18 runs made a huge difference to the score. But I think Ronnie, with his magic, 4 wickets and 4 key wickets, I think stole the show. So, Gabaji, over to you. I know you have a lot of things you could provide us insights for this game.
So yeah, I think me as in Detroit Titans or previously also, I think I have not played enough games opposite to Glad. So it was like one of the affair in the last few years probably where we were playing against the Glads, and I think Glads is a team that everybody wants to beat in the DCL, as you mentioned right earlier as well. So we were also looking up to it, and then based on the preparation that I did, I was actually confident that we are gonna play a nice cricket and a good cricket. And if you do not make a mistake, probably we are gonna win this game. So I had that kind of confidence. And when I was talking to my players also, I told that if we do these things and we are gonna get this game. So on the same hand, when we started playing game, started the inning, Glad won the toss and elected to field first. So I was thinking that why they're fielding first, only reason because there might be few people will leaving. Otherwise, I do not see anyone will opt for, even in the DSP, to bowl first. So I don't know what was the thought behind it. Satya, if Satya is still around, he can tell. But there was nobody leaving from the Glads. At the end, nobody left. We had like full-fledged game and nobody left for anywhere for any other game. So I think that was a strategical move from the Glad to field first after winning the toss.
Who
Uh,
left?
huh?
Which player left?
Nobody
I
left.
think
That's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
nobody left. Oh,
Nobody
wow.
left. So they wanted to chase down the score, basically.
Okay.
So maybe Satya can highlight what was the thought behind it. But at the same time, I think their bowler didn't disappoint their captain because they got the first 4 wickets very quickly, where we just 10 or 12 runs we lost our 4 wickets. But
Hmm.
later on, me and Tarun Bhai had a very good partnership where we pulled up a score in a level that we can still uh, going further into the game. And I unfortunately I got out in Satya's ball, and after that also we were like 50 runs or 50 odd runs in an inning break when 12 overs 50 runs, 5 wickets. So I thought we may add additional, like we thought probably we'll get around 90 odd runs from here at least because we had depth in the batting. If you see right, everybody after that, Amrit, Abhishek, Dhoni, Ankesh, and Ronnie, and even Parag, who did not bat, everybody can bat and contribute.
Hmm.
And my thought was that when we had 12 overs, 50 runs with the 5 wickets, I thought we are getting 90 runs. But again, I think Suyog, Shan has done some good bowling, and then they restricted us into 76 runs. As you mentioned, Dhonit was actually fabulous, scoring those 18 runs with those quick 18 runs. He understood that he might not get enough opportunity, to swing his bat. So he started scoring those twos and tried to hit hard, and he scored those 18 runs. Again, when we started, The bowling, I think another mistake that Glad did, that they did not broom. I don't know why they did not do it, but they did not broom when the game started. And I'm not sure whether it has made an impact or not, but Kalyan and Ronnie and Praveen was like amazing that day while bowling, and then very well supported by our fielding department also. We did not drop anything, and then everybody was on top notch, 100% energy on the ground, which we needed it. If we were given any small mistake or any small hole into getting Glad getting into the game, they would have actually used that opportunity. So I think overall, as a unit, we played really good, and I'm very proud, to win this game.
Absolutely. I think this was as I said, a fantastic win for Detroit Titans. And when you talk about, what they achieved this weekend, beating not only just Gladiators, but beating Stars too, which will come back, must have been a dream come true weekend for you, Gabaji.
Yeah, when I saw Glads and Star both we are playing in one weekend, I
Yeah,
thought it's a break or
usually something that overwhelms most opposition, right?
I thought it's a break or make weekend for us.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, there are a lot of things that I'm pretty sure Viju and Satya and the think tank of gladiators are contemplating. They might be even, having those Zoom meetings in this weekend to try
Might
to
want to
figure
quiz
out.
them about it next week, considering neither of them are here.
Right, they're
Mhm.
not here to defend themselves, but we can
Right.
keep roasting them. But to be honest, there are a lot of rumors. I heard in the other show, they were actually talking about Glad's the possibility of Glad's not making playoffs this year.
So
And
this is a good discussion. I think Vijay should be here when we talked about it, but I
Right.
I still see that Glads has to work hard to get that spot. It's not gonna be a cakewalk for them. They have very good games coming up as well. They have to play KRCC, they have to play GLCC, they have to play Red Devils. So a lot of good games they are coming up. And as per Vijubhai's assessment, they need at least 35 to 39 points to get into the playoff spot. That means they still have to win at least 5 to 6 games from here onwards. Out of what, 7 games probably? So the winning percentage is more. And if you see, on the other hand, if you see the unit that they have got against our game, it was a full-fledged unit that they have. So they
I was
cannot
about to
complain
say
that
the
this guy is
games that they
missing,
have
that guy is
lost, it's
missing.
not like they didn't have their
Yeah.
main players.
So
I mean,
they
yeah,
cannot
these are
they
pretty decent
cannot
results.
find a excuse that some people
No,
were missing or some people have left. So they had a full unit and they lost to us, right? So
right.
they have to think over it. So I think Glads, from the Glads aspect, Glads has to identify a couple of batsmen who can stay there and try to score singles and doubles, not hitting the boundary at all.
yep,
They have to find people, or at least educate a couple of their own players that forget that you can hit a six. Do not even play ball in the air at the first place. Find 2 3 people in the middle order, then only they will be able to sustain. Otherwise, as I mentioned, hitting the sixes against a good bowling attack might not be easy.
See, but that's
that's
anathema to the way Glad's play, right? I mean, I see the point you're trying to make, but it's a point that I've made to Viju too in the past, where like uh, at times I've been envious of the Glad's players,
So,
but at
but
the other hand, the risk that you see what that's happened in the past 2 games, right? That unidimensional way of thinking and playing, well, the playing with the abundant freedom with which especially that they bat.
so
And
but if
I guess it so happened we've seen pitfalls of it consecutively on 2 weeks now.
right, but as you are mentioning, right, they are hitter. They are a good batsman or batter, I would say.
Yeah. Oh,
They are not a
absolutely. They're
hitter.
not
So when
minus. No,
when
no.
they have to assess the team condition and team situation, play accordingly, right? If you see, let's talk about today's game, right? Surya is
Right,
we know Surya Kumar for hitting 360-degree, right? See his today's
right,
inning. He knows that this pitch probably not be the right fit for me to play all those shots or all those aerial shots. He was very he has played very mature inning today, right? Until he
right.
assured that we are winning, he did not play any of those scoop or any of the his favorite shots today, right?
Correct. Right.
That
and I
means he is a good batter or good cricketer, right? Same has some same strategy. Some of the Glad player also has to adopt and play according.
They
Yep.
should. What was the phrase that Viju used? I'll confess, I haven't followed the league or the shows on a very regular basis. So, and that's partly why I apologize to the audience. I'm a bit of a poor replacement for Viju and KK, and maybe not quite the Avinash you saw a couple of years ago on the show. But what was the phrase Viju used? The playing the Glad's way or something like that is what he said, right? I remember some discussion you guys having about
Mm.
a few weeks ago on the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think I blamed him for that loss against Strikers because I think he was ultra uh probably too critical about the way Grads were playing the previous games. He felt like some of the players were not up to the mark in terms of the strike rate, and this is not the Gladiators brand of playing cricket. I
Yeah.
remember Umar was the
Mhm.
guy. He'd taken probably 20, 30 odd balls for his 5 or 6 runs, and
Oh, that's right. There was some comments going in the
right.
community
And
chat.
yeah, and that also was something which I agree that you need to look into, but I felt like he was a little too overcritical about it on the
Mm,
show, and I think he probably also talked to his players, and you saw that in Strikers. I noticed that very blatantly when I saw Gladiators. Probably like when they were down, like when you're 4 or 5 down, you need somebody to at least you know s- put the band-aid on the bleeding so that at least there's 4 or 5 overs where you don't lose wickets, but they probably didn't want to do that. And instead of like this time around, like Satya was saying, instead of going for the sixes, they were trying to go for the twos, and they were getting held up in the hands of the fielder. So it kind of the other way around, where they were not trying to hit sixes, but they're still trying to go aerial rather than
right.
trying to keep it down, trying to see whether they can get the singles, nudge it around a little bit. And I think that's what has something which I guess Viju and Satya need to figure out, like what is that they want to do. They want to kind of mix it up a little bit. I think they're badly missing some of the batters who are severely out of form, like Shan. Hardeep
Right.
is a big factor. Arjun has played 2 games, and both games he was out duck. So that has also been a big factor. I think the
And
batsmen
also the
haven't showed
change
up.
and also the change in the batting order. I don't understand. I mean, I don't know if Udit has opened before. Udit's typically the kind of guy that plays the role that you just mentioned a few moments ago, where
Yeah,
stem the bleeding. He's usually the band-aid that comes in, even if
right,
Glass lose three, four wickets pretty quickly. If they lose
right.
those wickets,
And I think
he's
the
typically the
reason
one
is
that
probably
plays.
because Shan is not in his best.
Could
Generally,
be
Shan and Taif open for Glads, but Shan hasn't been the Shan of the old. So I think they're trying to kind of see if some other combination works. They're trying to get Jawad up the order because I think his
right.
batting is that kind of a heads down kind of approach. But even he is probably more aggressive than I've seen him play before.
Oh,
Ever since he's joined Gladiators. So
hmm,
it is that approach which I think is probably they need to kind of look at it. Yes, it's always great to go aggressive and always go punch to punch, but sometimes you need to have defense too. Even in
right,
boxing, you don't just go punch and punch. You need to defend and then find an opportunity to attack.
right.
So I would say this way, okay. I think Glad did not find the right replacement for Ronak Patel yet. Okay.
That
Hmm,
too, yes, that is a
So
good point.
another thing I'll tell you, the Glad does not, as I mentioned earlier, also Glad does not have any different dynamic player who actually can stay, or maybe the way Glad think they do not give enough respect to the people who score 10 runs in 25 or 30 balls probably.
Hmm.
But at this point, they need those players, or at least if they do not have on the roster, somebody has to convert that kind of mindset. In the DCL, you need in the middle order 1 or 2 people who can just stay relaxed there and rotate the strike in every alternate balls, not worry
I
about their
I
strike rate.
really wish Viju were here for this discussion. It's a
Yeah,
because it's a discussion me and him have had on the side in the past. It's so yeah.
but at the same time, right? Even if you follow Vijubhai, right? Vijubhai doesn't give respect to the people who play. I would say a little slow, like 40, 45 ball, scoring 10, 15 run. He say why he's playing
No,
like that. But
I think he just wants them to be positive rather than just blocking. So it's okay
Yeah,
to get a
I'd
single.
say that, at least
Yeah.
based on what I've heard. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what context he made that comment in. And I can understand if it was maybe atrociously slow, but no. In general, I think Viju is probably the one person from the Glads unit that actually has a modicum of respect for people that are able to hold up one end. I think he still
Right.
realizes the value of it.
There's a
see,
place for those people. I think when you say hold a end, that does not mean you just basically block. You basically
Exactly.
just at
no,
Right.
least play it around 60, 70 strike rate.
Correct.
60,
right.
70
So
Exactly.
strike
that's what
rate.
I said, right? 30
Yeah,
ball, 15 run, likewise
right.
the score, and then they are playing 5, 6 overs for you, and then
Well, I think Arjun plays that way. Before he really gets into his stride, when he starts to hit,
Exactly.
his first 10, 15 runs are always singles and twos and singles, and even Anup for that matter. I think he also plays in that
so
manner.
so
Right.
basically Anup, Arjun, and Ronak is missing at this point. Yeah,
Right.
Anup was
That is
also a
very
big
true.
miss,
Yeah.
I would say,
Right.
because
Right.
he could stay and play those double 2 run shots,
Mhm.
Right.
and he doesn't look for the big hits at least the early stage of the game.
Right. Guys, I'm sorry. I do have to leave in about 10-15 minutes. So but I guess so I'd like to talk through more games. But
Yeah,
I think
let's
Yeah,
take
let's move on to the next
all I
game.
can say is it's
next.
interesting. The point Gabaji made where the rest of Gladiators' games aren't easy. I think they've lost a couple of games that they thought were absolute cinches in the bag, but they're not. And so the key is here is two-pronged. One, their upcoming opponents are no pushovers. And second, do we think that they will have the motivation to go ahead and win all those games and prove all the naysayers wrong, right? Or
Well, in terms of motivation, I can say Viju is not going to leave no stone unturned about it.
that's
If he,
true.
even if he has to fly down here, I think he'll do that. to
You're saying there is going to be no such thought of, oh, you know what, we've played this game long enough, we won too many times, enough.
No, I don't think there's definitely a lot of hunger left. I don't think Viju is going to give up so easily just because they have two back-to-back losses, and this is what I think champions are made of. Like when you actually get up from this situation and then win it, then this is what champions are made of. So I would feel it might be a wake-up call for the Giant. I mean, who knows? Like
Yeah,
from
I mean,
here.
all of you guys that are saying that they may not make the playoffs, maybe that's what you need
No,
to hold.
I do not agree with that. I don't know who's
Yeah.
making who's making these broad and bold assumptions. It's just two
No,
losses.
not making a playoff is a bold assumption. I agree, but they are not getting the cakewalk to the playoff. They
Oh
have to
yeah,
work hard.
Oh,
correct.
absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is not the season where they dominate like they've always been doing. 11 wins out of 12 or 12 wins out of 12, whatever. It's not going to be that season. It's going to be a little rough. It's going to be a little scrappy, but I'm pretty sure they're going to comfortably make playoffs in the end.
Yep. All right, fellas, time to move on.
Yeah, let's go to the next game. Next game was a awesome game because of many reasons. One is Dynamites. Dynamites. Whenever Dynamites plays, there's always a lot of things to talk. And then Dynamites this weekend introduced at least two or three international
Bills.
standard players.
Yeah.
From what I have got news from the DCL rumor mills is these guys, at least a couple of them are
Three
from
three
the.
players is what I heard.
Yeah, but are all of them from the Peshawar Zalmi academy?
I have no idea because I don't follow much
At
of.
least somebody had put one screenshot. I think KK had put one screenshot in one of the groups. I don't remember which WhatsApp group it was, but it had this person's profile
Right.
as a Peshawar Zalmi.
I think
I
it
don't
was
know
Siraj.
whether.
I think it
I
was
think it's
Siraj.
Mohammad Hassan Khan and Akhtar Khan and Siraj Uddin. These three are
Right.
from PSL. Which
Yep.
team
Right.
they play for, I'm not sure.
So yeah, but that so I always tell even Sachin Tendulkar if he comes here, he's going to struggle on this ball. So no matter what, no matter where you get these players, this ball is a whole different unit.
It
And
is
even
right.
if you have raw pace, the length which you need to hit is very different from what you bowl in on a turf wicket or even on a mat wicket. It's very different. It's very different. So you need to get used to the even the gripping of the ball. And as you can see here, Dynamites, even though they introduced, I'm pretty sure they didn't know how to use them in this scenario, and they really didn't make much of a contribution with the bat. With the ball, again, it was the same old guys who actually performed for them. Arun Selvaraj, he's been like the go-to guy. if it
Yeah,
was
he's been
if
the
it's
mainstay,
Sujan.
right? Yeah.
Yep, if it's Sujan for FCC, it's Selvaraj for Dynamites. It's like that in the last few seasons. And even though I think Mohammad Hassan, he did get a couple of really good breakthroughs at the top, like he got the bolts. But all in all, I think it was a flop show from Vijay to spend. I don't know how much he spent to get these guys out, but total flop show. And I heard even they were part of the T90 unit, which
Thunderbolts
plays
only.
Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Avish team only. Yeah.
I know. So I am actually not playing that tournament. So, but yeah, I looked at the squad
Oh,
and I was like, "Wait,
so
what? What on earth has happened?"
all I can say that they've got raw pace for sure. Like we were playing on the next ground and we were watching them. Yes, they've got pace, definitely much more than what we used to in DCL. But it's like it's a raw pace. Literally, they have no line and length control. If it goes on the stumps, yeah, they're bound to break the stumps. But apart from that, it's
Yeah.
hard for them to actually come into this DCL and to start performing first game.
Parthiv, you were floating the idea of getting Vijay on the show tonight, right? Did you
Oh
get this?
yes, but I think I don't think he's on good terms with most people right now. He's
Oh,
left the DCL community, DCL, some of the other groups as well. I think he's been trolled, roasted, and I think he's
okay.
taken it a little too personally. But if Vijay, if you're listening to the show, don't get it personal, buddy. It's all fun.
No, and the reason I asked is it would have been interesting. The point you made about, uh, and it's a fair comment, right? Because that's why we hold those people that do well in
Yep.
Mishka as well as DCL. That's why those people are held in high regard
Right.
because of the difference in conditions.
Right.
I mean,
I
I will
remember he
never
had got another guy a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year,
last
who
year
played for
Mohammed Mohsin
Mohammed Musin.
Norman Anwar.
Yeah, and they
So,
played
yeah,
for the minor league or the major
right.
league. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think of those people, only Norman Anwar was successful in
Right.
T-ball. I think other than maybe because he has some tape. A lot of the Pakistani players have a background in tape ball cricket. I don't know how much that helps, but again, I think T-ball is so unique. But
Right.
what I was going to say was, had Vijay joined the show, it would have been interesting to get whether he had heard anything from those players and what their experience was like. I mean, would they like to show up for his team again? For any of the successive games? Did they enjoy the experience? I would have just loved to hear that part. And maybe I'll ask Vijay if I see him in person whenever I see him next time around. But it
Right.
would have been nice to quiz him on that.
Yeah.
I'd
But
say
I
that.
think what Parthiv was saying, right? He was not disappointed with the show. I think the comment that or the feedback that we have passed. I think people were making some comments. I don't think it was also something that below the belt or something where
No,
people were discussing. But it's just
yeah,
that he wanted to win the game desperately, and then I think he could not take those comment probably. But I think he
right.
will eventually come out of it and understand that there is nothing personal. It's just
Yeah,
even
yeah.
this is maybe a little disrespect to the Pakistani player, but I read somewhere in the some group where they said that wait for another 1 week, a Pakistani international player will also be available to play cricket
Well, you never know if their World
That
T20
is
ends
true.
soon.
That can happen.
because they might not board a flight to West Indies, so they will be available here in US.
That's true. And they might not be welcomed at home also if they if they don't
They-
qualify.
Might as well fly to Delhi as opposed to Lahore or Karachi. Oh, sorry, to Detroit as opposed to
Right.
Lahore or Karachi.
But I think one thing we are missing from this game, I know we are talking about Dynamites and Vijay, but we are forgetting to talk about Imon Kabir. That
Yes.
that bowler and that guy just had a phenomenal outing. 6 wickets, out of which 5 were bolts. So you can imagine the destruction that he caused to the Dynamite's batting unit. Unbelievable. And I've seen him bowl. We've played Hitman this season as well, but I was surprised when I saw his 6 wickets. I mean, I know he's a very good bowler, but he's not as threatening as somebody who would, just run through the unit like this.
Right.
So it was quite a surprise for me when I saw his 6 wickets. I mean, 6 wickets, yes, surprise. But when I saw the nature of those wickets, I was even more surprised. Like he got
Uh,
5 bolts.
yeah,
That
five
is
balls and a cotton
astonishing.
ball. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
I think it's just because Dynamite as a batting unit is not doing good, and then this Iman kind of bowlers are very destructive when you are already on the back foot and trying to play out certain balls, and maybe because of that, because we were just discussing, right, which I think did not go well with Vijay, that they in the last 5 games only one time they have crossed 50 runs while batting, either batting first or batting second. So they are already having concern, and they got hit up with the bowler like Imon, which is actually above average. Like he's very good bowler if you ask me, very good fast bowler, young
Yep.
blood. So I think that is because Dynamite was already struggling with their batting performance, and then they ended up with another good bowler with maybe one of his best day that day. Probably hitting those 5 balls is not easy, just missing the ball. So
Mm.
yeah, Dynamite forget about what we talk here or what we do not. Dynamite has an issue with their bowling for sure, and they have to work within their unit instead of getting the foreign play. Foreign player might help them with the bowling, not with the batting, because to bat in the DCL, you need a certain skill and certain maturity or experience to bat at least. That's what my understanding is.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
let's
think,
move on.
yeah, as I've mentioned, the more every week, Dynamites, there's chances for them to remain in Division One become uh, more and more less likely. So unless Vijay kind of gets his season back on track, it's looking really bad. At least at the start of the season for Dynamites.
Yeah. And we are already almost the mid of the season, and only 2 teams that even who could not win any game is one is Dynamite and another is Canton Hurricane.
Uh,
Yep. All right, let's
oh,
go to the next game, the Hawks versus KRCC. Now, this was a very one-sided game. I didn't expect Hawks to fold so meekly. Only 54 runs, and finally, the KRCC, the team that we are expecting that will show up, finally showed up in this game. They made a light of the situation. 55 for three. Strolled home. Contributions, from Munir and Sahesh. But yeah, very disappointing performance from Hawks. But I hope they continue this disappointing performance this weekend as well, because we are playing them.
that's what I think.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, I think it was a cakewalk for. And I think finally, I think some of the bowlers have started to show up. Tamim and Sahesh obviously is a good bowler. Tamim showed up, and I think we'll look at the game which against Thunders too. I think he was the chief destroyer at the start
Yes.
of the season, at start of the spell.
Yeah, so I think KRCC has after with that first 2 defeat, they understand that they may need to have better unit to win again the Division One. Then Muni, Muned, I see Heather Bhatti, these people have been added into the rosters, and then even both the games, they almost these people have played in the other game against the in the Thunder as well.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
they have improvised their unit than the previous 2 games and got the Tony has been performing for the KRCC from last few years already. So they have got him back. They got the Munat, and the result is in front of them.
Mm.
So other way around also, if the KRCC might have to think that can they still not win again without these people? Because I'm not sure how much availability can Munat provide them.
Mm.
How much availability Oni can provide them.
Right.
All
All
right.
right. The next game is probably the shocker of the weekend: Raptors versus Thunders. I don't think I've ever seen Thunders get folded for 22. Forget 22. I've never seen them folded for anything under 30 or 40. This is probably the worst batting performance. And to be honest, so I umpired the game. So
Oh, okay.
uh, I was very surprised with the way Thunders went about with their chase. I mean, yes, they bowled pretty decently. I think there was Raptors, had some contributions. Harsha, especially towards the end, I think he is 20, and Raptors too have now got a couple of Bangladeshi youngsters, Amir, and there was one other one, Salman, and I think there were three at least which I remember. And they've got so they've got these youngsters from Bangladesh, and Pradeep Bota told me they were originally part of Hitman, but Hitman has probably an overflow of Bangladeshi players, so they got these guys from them. And it was a very paltry effort by Raptors. Only if Harsha had not played, they would have folded under 50 maybe. But on the other hand, Thunders, the way they started, I don't know what they were thinking. They were trying to totally dominate it, the Raptors bowling unit, and Maulik, Manoj, Ronak went in quick succession. And the bowling, you would think that when you see a side folded out for 22, that the other side, the opposition, would have been really bowling well. I can bet you that the bowling was pretty ordinary. Very,
Hmm.
I would say not even good. It was ordinary. I mean, the way they bowled and the way Thunders batted, they were just gifting catches. I remember that wicket from Sandeep Gopu because it kind of highlights how Thunders have played. It was so wide that I was almost going to stretch my hand, and Sandeep hit it and straight into the hands of that one fielder which was standing there near the fence, and he just gifted his wicket away. Same was the case with probably every wicket that you see here. Two runouts obviously didn't help, but Thunders have only themselves to blame here. Really, I mean, I don't think Raptors won it. I think Thunders just lost this game, gifted it.
And as we were discussing on some other game as well, right? In this also, other than Dinesh, nobody was missing. We were talking about the Glads game. So they are also having a full unit. They cannot say that they have played with a compromise unit.
Oh,
They
no,
had
not
a
at all.
full
Yeah.
unit, and then it would be very disappointing for Indus to get all out in 22. And I think this whole weekend was bad for Indus because they lost both the games.
Yep.
They lost to KRCC as well.
Second one was particularly painful, I would say,
The
in a
only,
different
the
way, but
only good, the
yeah.
only silver lining in this game, at least, was this guy Rohit Pawar. I think this definitely is a very good bowler. I think somebody to watch out for if you're playing Thunders. I think he's definitely got a lot of great variations, and he bowls with a pretty decent pace as well.
Yeah, I think we did talk about him in the last
Yeah,
episode.
he's the one you mentioned, right, Dabaji? He doesn't have much of a run-up, but can bowl pace and spin
Yep.
simultaneously, something like that. Okay, yeah.
He's a young bloke, so definitely uses a lot of shoulder. He hits the pitch, hits the deck pretty hard, and gets a lot of bounce and pace. So definitely in his peak right now.
Nice.
And I wish him all the best in enjoying it while it lasts.
Yes. All right, next game is Pokris and Miles. This was an unbelievable game. I felt at one stage Pokris had the runs on the board, uh, but somehow Miles came from behind, and I think Miles has done this a few times to a lot of teams, especially when they're chasing.
He has.
Somehow somebody stands up and they are able to chase unbelievably well. I know they've done it to Glads. I think they've done it to there was one other successful chase, which they had basically just walked home like chasing a huge target. And it's probably in the best interest of their team that they chase, because I think Miles chases really well. But yeah, Avi, you've been close to Pokri, so I'll let you start with this. Talk about what was that you saw probably didn't go right for Pokris.
Well, again, I didn't see the game really, so I'll just have to, I guess, interpret what I see from the scorecard here. Saran obviously living up to his top billing. He's performed time and again for Pokeries over the last few years now. So, and again, he pretty much carried this batting order on his shoulders by himself. There was some support from Vicky there, I see, but otherwise, that middle order continues to be a bit of a problem for Pokeries. It has been time and time again. And there's a couple of new names there. I think Manoj was the guy that did really well against you guys.
Right.
But and really, Yuvraj or Vinod, I don't even recognize those, or Hiten for that matter. I think they're all new drafts to the Pokeries unit this year. So it seems like a pretty fresh unit. But unfortunately, the same old situation that Pokeries seem to have encountered over the last few years, the middle order just not standing up. So you have those one or two really good performances, but then you can win a few games that way. But especially when it comes to the crunch games, that becomes a bit of a challenge. And I
I
think
think
that's
this year,
shown up here.
yeah, I think this year Raghu is not working for them, at least until now, with both bat and ball. I think he was probably the key. He was one of the keys. I always felt with Pokris with because of the all-round capability he has, along with Vicky. I think those two guys, are perform a
He
very
is
key role.
right,
Obviously, you have the likes of Saran as well, who can bowl and bat as well. But
right.
all three guys, I think from the three guys, I think Raghu hasn't still started his season this
Couldn't
2024.
could be the case, and also I see that he's opened the innings this time around. I don't recollect him opening ever, at least all those times when I saw him bat
Mm.
for Pokeri. So I know Ranjit likes to try a few different things just to get a pulse of the various players to see how they perform. Maybe all
Mhm.
those new names that you see, maybe he was trying to give them a cushion of comfort, maybe by putting them in the middle order and hoping that they would have enough of a foundation to build the innings on. But yeah, you're right. But if that doesn't come off, then unfortunately it doesn't look very good. And I think Arun Dinakaran again, unfortunately, couldn't get going. So yeah, Satish down there is getting some runs, but now I think it's about time Satish has to recapture his magic with the bat. I think his keeping has never been in question.
Mhm.
But really, the batting needs to show up. I think it's been a while now since we've seen the Satish of the past, the guys that could effortlessly hit sixes over extra cover, right? That Satish hasn't shown up in a very long time.
But
So
the down that he's batting, he cannot show up as well.
agreed.
He has
It's
to come. He has left-handed. Only Raghu is the other left-handed that they have in the unit.
mhm.
He should come little up in the order and then perform. With that, 6, 7, 8 down, it's very tough to perform. Abhi.
It is, and especially when you have when the previous four or five batsmen haven't contributed much. Yeah, then he's probably
Right.
already coming in when the situation isn't very good. So there's only so much he can do. But purely from a batting standpoint, right? Leave aside situations because I think Satish has batted at the top of the order. He's batted somewhere in the middle. Now he's pushed down towards the bottom. He's played in different roles from what I've seen. So and for some reason that fluency of stroke making has just not shown up. I would say the last 2 3 years now.
Hmm. I
And
think
another,
maybe it's also his fitness, which I think contributes to that as well. I've seen him just
That's
like
quite
me. I think he's
possible.
put on a lot of weight, so that also kind of makes a difference when you're carrying that extra weight.
Possible, yeah. But then again, yeah, 99 was it defendable? Most likely, yes. I mean, again, Pokeries have brought in Priyesh, who has basically made the team based on his bowling performances in some of the other tournaments that he played with Pokeries.
even I
So,
think the previous
and
few games, Priyesh was extraordinary, and he
exactly,
got
right.
even I think against what Glass, I think that's it's some team I believe.
It was
He
one of
was
the games, yes, yeah.
one of the
Priyesh
game he
was,
was
yeah,
on the wickets and he got those game.
yes.
On the other hand, if you see the
Priyesh,
scorecard,
Raghu,
right?
Vicky, and Saran. I mean,
Yeah, they
that
were
is a
three.
potent bowling lineup that should have been able to defend 99. And they took the game pretty close. I mean, let's face it. I mean, Miles won it in the last over. So,
Yeah.
which I would put down largely to Abhilash Reddy keeping his head. Really, I think he was the one chap that played that hung around there sensibly, and somehow a couple of them played around them and somehow managed to scrape over the line. Really,
On the other hand, if you see MCC Miles batting, right, we have been talking about MCC Miles in the past year as well. You
Mhm.
cannot discount MCC Miles when they are batting. Okay,
No.
you have to have your best of bowling or best of bowling attack on the day, so that you can at least restrict them when they are batting first, or while chasing. You have to, you know, try to bowl even better so that they cannot achieve the target. As you mentioned, 99 was not a small target, but addition of Abhilash made it very easy. Abhilash played crucial inning of 34 in 50 ball, and he was not out and made sure that he finishes the game.
And also
Yep.
look at that 15 extras, right? I mean, if you discount Abhilash's 34, the next highest score there was 15 from Sanjay. So essentially, the Pokiris bowling was the joint second best batsman for MCC Miles.
Yep.
That,
And just like, yeah, and just like GLCC, I think there where Samish Bhai got a lot of runs on his over. Vignesh too. He generally he's pretty nifty and miserly as well with his bowling.
oh,
He
anything, his bowling has been his stronger suit over the
correct.
last couple of years.
and
Yeah.
he's got a very good control. I know he bowls.
Yes.
He prefers to bowl around the wicket,
Mhm.
and from there it's difficult to control. But he has a very good control over it. Him bowling seven wides and going for 27 runs is, something that doesn't happen too many times. So
Right.
that also kind of suggests that it wasn't the best day for bowling for
Right.
Pokris. All right. We have we have four more games to go. Those were the games that were rained out and were played on this weekend. We have
Parthiv
Stingers.
and Gabaji, I'm sorry to interrupt. I do have to leave. This was fun though. I'm glad I was
Yes.
able to join for a while. I'm sorry I can't stay for the whole show. But yeah, definitely brought back a lot of my good memories, and it was fun being here. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Avi. Yeah,
good
do
to
come
have
back.
you on the show, and we would love to have you next again. Whenever you are available, please do join.
Yes,
Yes.
will do. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, and thank
See
you to
you.
the
Thank
Bye.
audience for continuing to watch and support DCL Primetime. Thank you.
you.
Thanks. Thanks, Avi.
Yeah. See ya. Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Bye. All right, Gabaji, we are four games away. So let's do the Stingers SLCC Guardians. Again, this was a very low scoring game. I was right next to it. We were playing, Strikers was playing Legends.
So this
And
is
at
a
one,
season two. You are covering season two now. Okay, my bad.
yeah, I just, just picked it up because this was a interesting game because Stingers only scored 57 and got the SLCC Guardians out for 38. I mean, it was a very very interesting and loud match which was going on between us. A lot of appealing, lot of close calls. And what is interesting is, Stingers again pulled another win out of their hat of the hat. This is another probably low scoring game which they've won. And I think there have been a few where they have won. Like I think against Scorpions they won. I think against Hunkars too. Again, they were pretty close. I wouldn't say close, but they won it. And this is another game with Stingers again. 4 out of 4 unbeaten so far. Stingers definitely look like hot favorites to clinch Division Two right now.
Definitely.
All right, let's cover strikers and legends again. I was at the game. I was one of the guys who was not out in the end. Uh, but we just, I would say we lost the game through our batting. I mean, it was just not acceptable to score only 67 runs. Yes, the Legends bowled really well, but I think we gave a lot of wickets away. Again, same like for Thunders did on the offside hitting. Either you go over the top for 2 runs or you keep it down. I think we were somewhere in between, and we got caught in that web of the three fielders on the offside. We probably lost 4 wickets that way. And Shan was there. Shan was fielding there, and you can see Shan got at least 4 catches there. standing just at the fence, in between that passage of the dugout. He got four catches there, and somehow we just lost, kept losing wickets. 67 was never going to be difficult, but this time around, as I had mentioned to you in the show previous weekend, we've got a very different bowling attack this season. And I say different is because we've got two left arm spinners and we've got two off spinners, which has never happened for us. So it's a very different variety of attack, and I think our spinners have been doing a great job so far. Sujay has not been amongst the wickets lately, but he's always accurate and he's our go-to bowler. This game, it was Keyur Patel who got 3 wickets for us. He was outstanding with the ball. Kapil again was pretty decent as well, but with the score at 67, we still got 16. I mean 6 wickets, but you know couldn't really. If he had got like around 80, 90, I think we would have made a game out of this. But I think one positive we take was we just gave 4 extras, which is quite heartening. That is one of the goals that our captain is working to make sure we don't give too many extras.
Yeah, that's good. Why Binod Bhai is not playing any game for the
Binod's
IPL?
Binod's son is actually playing that the same league as your son is playing, MYCA.
Uh-huh.
So he's traveling. So every weekend they have a couple of games. So he's basically just traveling with his son. So he's not going to play over the weekend. Only in the T90, since it's on the weekday, he's able to come. But yeah, if we had him also, I think it would have made a huge difference in our bowling.
Right.
And Vraj has a tennis elbow, so his bowling also we miss a lot as well.
Vraj was missing in this particular game, right?
Yeah, I think this game was on a Sunday. He placed 20,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right, right.
so he couldn't come on this game.
So I think the strike, based on what I see, at least on the scorecard, Legend was winning comfortably with Harish and Sai was batting and
Mhm.
scoring those runs. Luckily, you guys have got those. I think Sujay and Keyur broke that partnership, and you managed to get another 4 5 wickets. Otherwise, the Legend might
Yeah,
have won with 7 or 8 wickets in hand.
correct. Yeah, if Harish was there, it would have been finished very early. It would have been finished under 15 overs for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Harish, and then Sai also went quickly, and then after that there was a few wickets which gave us a little hope. But yeah, I mean, we always knew that we were going to be short of runs. So unless it was a miracle where we got, somebody got a hat trick or something like that, then only it was a chance after Harish gave them the start.
Yep. I think
All
Guru
right.
was full as Guru and Ajit both took 4 4 wickets. So I think
Yeah,
kudos to
Guru
them.
was outstanding. No matter, I mean, Ajit, I don't know. We probably gave him a lot of the wickets. He
Okay.
wasn't like super impressive as Guru, but we just basically gave him a lot of wickets on the offside.
Okay.
All right, next game is your game, Stars versus Detroit Titans. So just like how I went through it, how about you go through how you saw this game go through with Stars?
Yeah. So again, I think Stars won the toss and they elected to bat first. And pitch was, as you may know, right? The Novi, at least the pitch that we played, I think it was much better pitch that we played against the Glads. It was quite batting comfortable, I would say.
Mhm.
And when we started bowling, Kalyan has got the maiden wicket very first over where he got Hurry out, and then we have got uh, Ronnie Bhai in the business.
Hmm. Six
And when
wickets.
Ronnie Bhai was fabulous that day when he picked up those 6 wickets in 10 runs, and Kalyan also was 3 wickets in hand. So it was like amazing bowling, and then again the way I would say that we have improved at least touch wood on the fielding department, that we are not even letting one single go, which
Hmm.
not supposed to be a single, and then definitely we are among all the catches that we it's coming our way. So that is helping. Uh, Again, another thing that I have seen Ravi Teja uh, bat, not maybe live many of time, maybe some of the videos that I've only watched. But Ravi Teja is fabulous batsman. Okay,
Oh, yes.
he came he came to bat, and the very first ball he was batting the way he has already played 50 balls. He was
Yep.
middling almost every ball. Ball was not going to the wicket keeper. Every ball he was middling so good. But again, because he just came one down, he did not know what gonna happen towards, and he was trying to charge, and he
Hmm.
just tried to go over mid off, and there Kalyan has got a actually very fabulous catch, stretching himself completely, and
Hmm.
on the top of his hand he got him out. And after we got Ravi, we knew that we gonna wrap it very quickly, and then that's what we did it. And Ronnie Bhai was amazing, as I mentioned earlier. He got 6 wicket all, and then nobody actually stood up after Ravi and Hari. When
Hmm.
we started batting, we had just 57 to win. And again, I always not very confident kind of captain. I always say, okay, the game is not done until it is not done.
Yep.
I told my batsmen that they also have got a very good bowling unit. So just play on a ball merit. It's not that we need to go on a shell. And I specifically, I don't want to get this game more than 20 overs. I just told that let's win this five,
Mm-hmm.
7 overs in hand, so that it do not build up the pressure toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
And because if we get them this kind of rooms, these people will come and try to dominate us towards the
Right.
end. And I think the way Praveen and Kalyan played again, Praveen was amazing. If you would have, we tried to record the game, but somehow we could not record because of the glitch in the that at least I am facing on the cricket clubs at this point.
Mm.
So amazing. He was hitting twos on his wheel.
Mm.
And I think even in 1 over, I remember when I actually rate Deepak Giryappa quite high as a bowler in the DCL. He hit five twos in a single over of Deepak.
Wow.
So yeah,
That is.
overall I think Praveen was fabulous. 27. He unfortunately towards the end he got out, and Kalyan very well supported by Kalyan, and then Tarun and Abhishek just went there and finished the game for us, and then we completed this particular chase in 12 overs only. Another I know that our Detroit Titan has been criticized, and actually it was a point that we were always weaker on the batting. Maybe
Mm.
it was because of the approach that we used to play earlier. But
Mm.
if this particular weekend, if you see, we have scored 50 runs, 50 and 50 plus runs in both the innings within the 12
Right.
overs itself. So I think that is some positive
Mm-hmm.
I would take from our batting unit. We have lot of work to do from here onwards as well. But yeah, that is another thing that we just finished this particular game in 12 overs. Maybe if one of few of the batsmen wanted to go home and watch the India Pakistan match. I don't know why, but I am happy with the batting performance.
Absolutely. I think this was a great batting performance. And I think the Stars unit also, I think they probably are waiting for Amar to show up. And I think that will help their batting unit, because I always feel Ravi Teja is the key for Stars. If he once he gets out, the Stars unit looks pretty ordinary, to be honest. He is the guy, and we've come across him multiple times, and unfortunately, every time he's performed against us. Every time he has been the highest scorer, and somehow we had never been able to get him out. But yes, to your point, he's a fabulous batsman. I think the most stylish batsman in DCL.
I
Uh,
agree.
and he's just outstanding. His bowling has probably suffered because of some injury that he has carried. I don't think he bowls that often. But yeah, he's a fabulous batsman. But still, I think Hari still. I think we'll be counting on Amar to come back. I'm pretty sure, and the likes of I think they're also missing probably Satya, Sai Tota, those kinds of people as well. So all in all, I see, stars coming back. But yeah, I mean, unless they start moving away from that dependency with Ravi Teja, it's going to be hard for them to see past that. Once he gets out, they need to start winning games without Ravi Teja.
That's right.
All right. Last game of the weekend was another big, probably 2022 or 2021 finals, KRCC Thunders. Uh, and this game was another nail biter. 3 runs that separated KRCC from Thunders. And we were talking about it in today's show, in today's game, when I met Maulik, and he was talking about how Ronak was just outstanding. Without him, this chase was done and dusted, because the way Tamim started, it looked like he's going to just rip through the Indus Thunder's batting unit. It was only Ronak Patel's innings, and towards the end, he was supported by Sandeep, which gave them the hope of chasing this. Indus Thunders finally fell short of 3 runs, but it was a great show by finally Tamim showing up. Gabaji, what do you feel really happened to especially the Indus batting? I think Indus batting has been great, but 2 losses in 2 weekends must be something, must be worrying Gopu now with these 2 losses. Just like you won 2 games, he had the opposite of you. He had the 2 losses in the same weekend.
Yeah, I think I would say I would see this game little bit different because Indus did not had a unit. Okay, if you see, they had couple of their key players were missing,
Hmm.
and at the same time, if you see the KRCC unit, which I already highlighted that in the both the game they have got their best possible unit for this particular year. So
Hmm.
the match was not even because Indus had that you know, right? There are a lot of discussion. They had the conflict with the hard ball, so they have to split the team based on what I understand. And so they eventually, I think they lost both the games, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
So
They
the
lost.
matchup was not even at the to start with. As you mentioned, Ronak Patel was amazing with that 42 runs, and then at least he has saved the hope for that inning or that specific game that they can win from eventually. But I was talking to Ronak. I said, "Boss, you have made the game, but you only lost it. Why? How you can get out that close into the game? You should have tried to finish it." And he was also very upset about, he could not because it was one of the fabulous inning. If you would have won the game, right, you would have
Right.
remembered this inning for a very long period of time when Indus knew that they're going with a very weak side and then winning the game for them.
Hmm.
So I would see that on that perspective.
Hmm.
Another thing, if you see on the KRCC's right side, right, let's highlight Saurabh Kumar because that 15 crucial run that he came towards the end, I think eight down, and he scored in 21 balls. So I think that also has been added some value to their scoreboard. Otherwise, at one point they were not even looking into more than 75 or 80 odd runs,
Yep.
and that probably would have been easier for Indus to chase.
Yeah, but I was, at one point of time, it looked like Indus Thunders is going to fold. But yeah, to your point, Ronak basically just carried his bat, and even I, now that I see that you tell me, I looked like an innings of a lifetime for him.
If he would have won because
Right.
he would probably have crossed the 50 also 50 marks or around it, and he standalone winning the game while chasing 96 is always make you
Right.
very happy.
Yep. All right. With that, we come to the end of the games. We'll go into predictions. Satya around? Satya, are you
Yes,
going to share?
Satya is back. Yeah, you can share.
I don't know if he's listening.
Satya, you're on mute if you're talking. Can you share, Bharti bhai?
I can't share our predictions. I don't know where. Is he sent it in the?
No, I don't think.
I don't think he sent it. Let's see if he comes in 1 minute. Otherwise, we can just go over the games and talk about our predictions at least.
But where do you see our prediction?
Just two of us. We can just go and talk about our predictions since we don't have that view. I don't think I've got that, or anybody apart from Satya, anybody can see all of us.
Yeah, let me see. Let me call him once if he can join.
Mm. Hmm.
So Satya is having network issues. So can we do
Okay.
one thing, Parthi bhai? Can you go to the website and let's see the games and we can say what we have predicted and when
Yeah,
closing.
let's do that. Okay. All right. There are going to be a few games from the rained out 16th as well. So let's go from the top. Stars versus Miles.
No, what I was saying, can we go back, go to the website and
The predictions.
prediction and show the pie chart?
I don't know if I have the access to do that. Wait, let me check.
Can you share or you can't share at all?
No, no, I can share my screen. Hmm. So,
I can't see your screen. Yeah, I can see
so
now.
yeah.
Can you go to the
Is it the home page or the
go to the home?
results?
Go to the home.
Okay. Man, this is
Or maybe let's go to the result first and see the table. That's what we do, right? Go to the result and we'll see who all.
well, my I don't know why every time I am this in this, my internet is always slow.
Satya is here.
Where?
I can see Satya join.
Oh yeah, he's joined from a very long time, but I don't know if he's left it open. Can you open this website?
Can try.
With mine internet, I don't know, for some reason it's just spinning.
Satya, can you share?
Where is he? Is he even there? He's not there.
No, he is here.
No, no, he's here, but I don't think like he's just started and left.
Let me try. I have to get that link to my PC.
Wait, yeah, I can send you the link. Wait.
No, I have to get into my PC. I do not have WhatsApp in mine.
Oh,
Just give me a sec.
man, this is.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you. Can you share the predictions?
Yes, yes, yes. Just a minute. Like it's a internet somewhere. It's giving up on. So,
I
1
know
minute.
my internet is also doing the same.
Can you see now?
yeah, we can see.
Okay.
Okay. Can you zoom?
Can you go to the result first so that we can see how we are standing and other community member where they are?
Who's Oh, Gabaji has taken the lead.
Yeah, but Tanuj has taken a lead
Oh, Tanuj
overall with the
has over
55.
Vicky.
Vicky slipped to 53. Neil is 52. Mahesh is 52. Parag is 52. So a lot of competition over there.
Oh
So
yes.
I'll change that. Okay. So it's me
From
and
analyst side,
second
oh,
behind.
you are way behind, Parthi. Where are you?
He
My
is
Oh,
Parth,
here. He is
oh,
here.
okay. I'm 48.
48.
So why
Easy.
his name is not against this A's
No,
are
the A's are
I
misplaced.
yeah. I forgot to update.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I updated first time. Second time I missed it.
Okay.
So
So Gabaji, then Viju, then me, and then Satya. Satya is 46.
And where is Chetan Bhai? Okay, Chetan Bhai is on
Chetan
44.
is 44, catching up.
Okay. Let's go to the prediction pie chart.
Coming in.
Wow, striker is heavy favorite Parthy bhai.
Against
90,
Hawks.
95% striker.
If we are not favorite against Hawks, then who else will be favorite?
So Hawks is the underdog now.
Hawks is actually a very good team. It's just that
Yeah. This I was not expecting this 95 and 5% kind of matchup here.
nice. Now we have to live up
And
to that.
MCC Miles has versus Stars. So somehow Stars overall has been dropped to 78% because of Stars losing and MCC Miles winning, probably that because of that matchup.
KRCC Red Devils is surprising. Red Devils have lost respect this season. I'm pretty sure until last season, it would have been 50-50 or at least to more 60-40.
Yeah, I still see KRCC is the heavy favorite because Red Devils is still not able to get all the
Yeah,
players
this season
availability
at
and
least.
putting a good team over there.
Pokris, Legends. Again, heavy favorites. Pokris unbeaten so far. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, not unbeaten. They got beaten this weekend.
This particular week, last week.
Yeah, yeah. Scroll down. Hitman and who does Hitman play? Detroit
Bulls.
Bulls.
Red
Okay.
Bulls.
Oh, I'm surprised. Hitman has got so much. Detroit Bulls are on a hot streak right now.
So Heatman has got all those percentage just because of Iman probably because he is performing fabulous, right? So maybe because of that.
Fighters GLCC. Oh, I'm again very surprised. I would have seen the other way around based on current form. Fighters, I feel, are heavy favorites over GLCC, but GLCC has the history. Thunders are playing. Who are they playing?
Uh,
Dynamites.
FCC.
Oh, FCC. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. 100%. Thunderbolts, Scorpions. Thunderbolts are heavy favorites there. Stingers favorites. That makes sense. SLCC Guardians favorites. Okay, that also makes sense. So far, so good. Everybody's agreeing. Dark Horses Rebels. Again, the Rebels has got so much vote. I'm surprised. Probably people don't know a lot about Rebels. I'll be surprised with the 60-40 ratio. Royal Challengers, Detroit, and Motor City. Racha Riders and Gujarat Warriors. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, it would be. I think this is the
This is going to be I think the
biggest game
game
of the
of
week.
yeah game of the week for Division Two. Phantoms and my Rangers. That makes sense. KRCC. Okay, ECC is 100%.
ACC playing Royal Hunkers.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a easy victory for them. Punjab Lions and Marvels. Again, another one which I think Lions should easily win. All
Yeah.
right.
So, go to our prediction.
Let's go to our
Can you
prediction.
guys see this?
Hmm.
Wow.
Stars,
Stars.
Miles. Okay, we are split. Chetan and myself are going with MCC Miles. KRCC Red Devils. KRCC everyone. Pokris Legends, Pokris. Hitman Bulls. Viju has gone for Hitman.
Hitman.
Wow. Shocking.
I think this game might be interesting. Like even
Which one?
KRCC, I don't know
KRCC
because
should win.
no, they have the Champions Trophy. This
Oh, yeah. Availability, maybe.
availability will be an issue, I think. So
What Champions Trophy?
Champions Cup, I think this week, the leather ball one.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
But I really wanted to ask Viju, why Hitman? Why does he think Hitman? He's always talking all great things about Detroit Bulls.
Hickman has a good team, they have like 3 or 4 good guys who can turn the game around. Does Detroit Bulls have that bowling unit? We have to see. So
Yeah,
they are decent bowlers. The line and length, it depends right on that day. So
yeah. But I feel based on current form, I think Detroit Bulls have been really
yeah,
good this season.
Detroit Bulls pretty good. If we can take like Gino and the first two Nickel and uh, the opener, uh, is that Tanmay? I think if
Unless Ante, yeah.
yeah, if we can get these three quick, then they might be in trouble.
All
Yeah,
right.
Detroit
GS.
Bulls, the bowling department is quite settled. I think they cannot disappoint on that department. Only thing, Hitman has couple of Imon and couple of more bowlers, right, which can make a damage. If
Yes,
that would not happen, Detroit Bulls should easily get that.
yes.
Okay.
But yeah, we
The
do have.
surprising one is Fighter versus JLCC. Parthiva, we both are again on the same boat. Fighters.
Yes, we are with fighters. I think obviously KK has to go with GLCC, and Viju goes with GLCC too. Hmm. But I think fighters have got a very good unit. I'll be very surprised if they lose against GLCC. To be honest,
Because of,
Thunders,
yeah, go ahead.
Thunders versus FCC. I think that is a no-brainer.
100%.
Thunderbolts. Oh, you've gone with Scorpions.
Yeah, Satya has
Amaji.
picked a Scorpion.
Oh, it's Satya. Oh, Satya
Mm-hmm.
is Scorpions. Hmm. Calculated bet, I assume, Satya.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about scorpions? We don't know.
No, nothing. No, this is the problem, right? So Division Two, we don't see the guys, and we don't know who's
Yeah,
playing.
that's true. We
We
are
will.
just going by, I think, some of
Yes,
the older, we are going by their experience,
yes, that's it.
especially.
Uh, Somewhere you have to take some bets. Few
Yeah.
games, no, they are not going to beat, but few games we have to take a bet. So
All right. Stingers versus SSK. Heavy favorites, I think, Stingers. Even though SSK has been playing well, so I'm surprised no one has picked SSK.
but
Guardian.
not
Stingers is
against
playing a
Stingers.
better cricket, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah, that's true. Stingers is even way better than SSK. Guardians and Stallions, Guardians, everyone. Dark Horses. Oh, at least one of us picks Rebels.
that is again Satya.
Satya, wow. Last time I picked Rebels and I got burnt.
We don't know what to get from Dark Archers. I don't know.
Yeah, that is.
Dark Horses only Pankaj what shows up.
Yeah, that's the problem. On that day, if he's out, then what we got? Like,
Challengers and Motor City. Everybody's challengers. Okay, Racha Riders and Gujarat Warriors. As expected, it's 3-2 to Racha Riders. I think it's myself and who's other? Chetan
Java,
again.
Chetan. No,
Chetan.
no. I think I predicted Racha Riders.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think I
Bharti and
predict
Chetan for Warriors.
Warriors. Well, the two Gujju boys are with the Gujarat Warriors. Chetan Bhai and myself both are voting for Gujarat Warriors. All right. MI Rangers firm favorites, KECC firm favorites, and Punjab Lions firm favorites. So it looks like there's at least three games where it's close. GLCC Fighters, Racha Riders, and Warriors, and then there was another one, Stars and
Miles.
MCC
And
Miles.
City Miles.
Yeah. Everything else looks pretty solid except for one or two exceptions. All right, that was a wrap up. I know the show was a little late, delayed because of the T90 matches that are currently going on. Hopefully, next week we will not have a lot of these conflicts and we'll be on time. So, until then, good night, everyone, and take care.
Good night.
See you next time. Bye.